forgiveness imprison us, not the person that offends you. How can you say you are a Christian, then there's no forgiveness in you? Christ showed us an example of forgiveness. The Bible says Christ died for us while we were what? Yet sinners. On the second hand, when he was crucified on the cross, he said, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they do. Matthew chapter 6 from verse 14. He says, for if ye forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. Verse 15. But if not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. He that wants to be forgiven must learn how to forgive. Tell your neighbor, he that wants to be forgiven must learn how to forgive. Yes. Today people are killed because somebody somewhere harbored an offense. You may be offended, but every time you are offended and you keep that offense, your heart will not be in its perfect state. If you refuse to forgive, how will you pray? Your prayer will not go to anywhere, because you need that same heart to pray. I'm delivered. You are delivered because God has forgiven you. Most of us have done terrible things to God that what man has done to you, yet you can't forgive. If God will play back what you have done to him and he has still forgiven you, you have no reason. Most times somebody will hurt me very hard, but I look at what I've done to God. I said, no, if God will forgive me, I have no right to hold offense against that person. Let it what? Let it go. You must forgive at all times, because the next minute you may want to pray. You must forgive at all times, because the next minute you may want to pray. And when you want to pray, your heart must be at its perfect state for that prayer to be effective. Most of the problem we have today is unforgiveness. If your brother sin against you and you don't forgive them, that your brother will not be forgiven except you forgive him. Hope you know that. So you imprison him and also imprison yourself. Don't be the reason why others are crying, are suffering, because they offended you and you refuse to forgive them. If God will not forgive you for one day, you will be a dead man by now. The book of Matthew chapter 9. Let's read together. Let's read together from the book of Matthew chapter 9, verse 1 and 2. He turned into a ship and passed over and came into his own city. Verse 2. And behold, they brought to him a man sick of the palsy, lying on a bed. And Jesus, seeing their faith, said unto the sick of the palsy, Son, be of good cheer, their sins be forgiven. Every time you ask God for healing, the first thing he will do for you is to show you what? Mercy and forgiveness. So you see, you go to God to ask God for blessing, for healing. What you ask for, something you don't deserve, don't forget. So he can only do that for you out of what? Mercy. How many people have you shown mercy to? Blessed are the merciful, for they shall do what? You can't knock out these principles. Most times it's not about how you pray and fast. It's how you keep these simple principles, especially forgiveness. Many people today are in prison, self-imprisonment because of unforgiveness. Forgiveness is the key. Tell your neighbor, forgiveness is the key. We are all here today because we are all forgiven. God did not look at our sin. He came through for us, help us, and we are here today. My question is always, how do you pray without forgiveness? When somebody gets you angry, speak it out. Do what? Speak it out. If you don't want to speak it out, put it inside your heart and do what? And let it go. But speak it out as a child of God. When speak it out, make sure you bear your mind and return back. That's what makes us Christian. As I'm going back today, reconcile. Do what? Don't walk with burden in your heart. Don't walk with burden in your heart. Forgive. No matter what the person has done to you, find a way in your heart to do what? Sometimes you talk to them about it, I'm sorry, and they carry your face. Your own is make sure your heart is what? Free. Because of your future. Because of your next minutes. Let them be the one to carry that burden. So if your unbeliever friend, neighbor, do not forgive, and you do not forgive, what then is the difference between you and that person? There's no difference. That's why you will not follow you to church. You can't even invite, you don't even have the bonus to invite them to church. Because they know you. Don't forget that your character preaches a better gospel than your lips. Go back today and reconcile yourself with him. Go back today and reconcile yourself with your neighbor. Neighbor likes it or not. Call him and say, neighbor, I'm sorry. Either you are wrong or right. Neighbor, I'm what? I don't want us to quarrel. Either neighbor will hear you or not. Listen to you or not. Neighbor, I'm sorry. Free. You see that you're going to be very, very light. Your heart will be free. You can pray. You feel joy, not happiness. It's joy. Let that person be the one holding it, not you again. Because the next minute, you will want to pray.